Hi guys, this is AruvaChan, and I want to preface this video with a disclaimer. I did not just start wanting to critique people's artwork. This was a requested show, and I am only critiquing people who are on my Discord and their art, and they have specified what they want me to critique. Like, if they want me to critique harsh or if they want me to critique softly, like, it is up to them. I'm not ripping someone a new butthole because I really like to. Like, I just want to say that at the beginning because I would never think to do this. People just really want to hear me and my opinions about their artwork, so please enjoy. Okay, so the first person we're gonna look at is Help, H-A-L-P, on my Discord, and they said, please be gentle. So I can see a few things that I would try to improve. Like, the line work is a little shaky in some parts, but you can tell that they have improved a bit because they are going over their lines. And I definitely think the anatomy is good. The line work's a little shaky in some parts, but that's okay. And the overall style is really cute. Pretty good. I would say 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. The next one we're gonna do is It's Spooky Skull Uwu. And they did not specify whether they wanted me to be harsh or not, so I'm just gonna give them a little bit of, helpful information. The line work could be darker in a few spots. Like on the hair, it is pretty dark purple where it could be lighter, and on the bottom where it is the same color purple, it could be a little bit darker and maybe a more brown color or even a black. Like, I definitely like the stylized line art, but I just don't think it works in this aspect because of the way you shade and the way you color. It definitely could be, you could change the colors up a little bit, and that's all I'm gonna say about that one. The next critique we're gonna do is an artist named Kiwi, and they want a harsh critique for their drawing of Darlene. Okay, I definitely can see that you've worked really, really hard on this, and that's amazing. I absolutely love that I can see your work and your detailing. I think you need to shade darker, and I think you need to use a photo reference, perhaps. Like, you need to find your lighting. You definitely need, like, you can see that there is shading on parts of her neck and a little bit of her cheek, but for the most part, there is no shading. There's no shading on the hair, and she needs some sort of light source. So if you can find your light source and build around that, I think your art would improve 10 times. But I definitely love your style. It's very, very nice. Next critique, we are doing Hella Spooky PSI. Now, these are all Halloween names because it is October. And they want me to critique anything with this because they want to improve. So I think the first thing I notice off the bat is you need to work on your face shapes. As a human or arachnid person, she has a very ovally face, and usually with people they have somewhat of a jawline, even if it's just, up to here and then a circle face, but she does not have that break. And also, she has no detailing in the legs. They are just little wobbly little lines. I love the colors, and I love the idea of Spider Witch that's actually made out of spider. I think that's so fun and so creative. But I definitely think if you worked on those things, your drawing would probably have more of a creepy kind of feel. Like if you made the legs a little hairier, or they have like the little things at the end. Like, I'm not sure what they're called, but they have the little like toes at the end. I think if you gave that to them, it'd be a lot creepier and more detailed. Okay, so here's another one of Hella Spooky PSIs. And I have seen this one before. I absolutely love this style that you draw in. This is a different style than your other picture that you posted, but I really like this. I don't know what it is about it, like the small detail or the one, you know, one color. Everything about it just screams like individual style. And I absolutely, like, I find it so fun. And it sort of is reminiscent of like Nightmare Before Christmas, that kind of style, but it's still very cartoony and still very fun, even though the character is sad. I definitely think this is the kind of style that you should be working in. Like your spider one was nice, but I felt like it didn't have enough detail versus this one, which has a lot of detail, which has paid off in my eyes because I find it, you know, visually appealing. And like my eyes are drawn to the detail of the sweater first, and then I can see the little plant on top and then the plant wings. I definitely think you outdid yourself with this one versus the spider one because you can tell that you spent a lot more time and effort trying to do detailing on this one, and the lines are very neat. And I absolutely love the detail. I wish I could see the face a little bit better. There is a giant like blob, which could just be, you know, part of the hair, but it kind of makes it a little bit harder to see. Like I wish there was a little bit more clarity in the face, like the defining features of the face. And the way you can do this is to outline everything important again, which I see you have done around the edges. You've outlined the edges. You don't have to do that inside of the picture. Like you can make them more defined, but make the lines thinner and keep the outer lines bolded to show the outside of the character. But I definitely think if you add more definition to the face and you kind of clear it up a little bit, like it could be like a marking on her face or their face, I'm not too sure, but if you did that and, you know, added a few more lines to define, I think your art would be phenomenal. Like, it's very, very good right now, but I definitely think that would push it over the edge to something that looks more professional, and you're getting very close to that level. So I definitely think keep going with this kind of thing, like add more details to your work. I definitely think that was what I said before, add more details, but this is very good. Add details to your work. It really shows and it pays off, I swear. The next artist is Boo. So this is Boo's drawing from when they were 10 or 11. So be brutal, I don't mind. Okay. The first thing I notice is there is wild amounts of shading in this. Like, not that it's, you know, bad, it's just very amateurish. I love Magical Girl so much, and I love this idea, and she's very pretty. Like, I love the dress outfit, and I love the diamond. I do not like the way you shaded. It is very... It's not obnoxious. It's not. It's very beginner. Like, you don't know how to shade, so you shade everywhere. And you try to make it look 3D the only way you know how, by adding shading around the edges, which as you get older and more experienced as an artist, you figure out that's not exactly how you do it. So I definitely think to the 10-year-old you, try to look at pictures of hair and see how the shading is on that, or try to look at other artists. You notice they use like something called cell shading. And you probably know this now because you're probably not 10 or 11, because you said it was when you were 10 or 11. So look at other anime artists and see how they shade. Like, watch a few speed paints and see how they shade, because a lot of them use cell shading and then they'll go in with the softer airbrush shading. And you could definitely build off of this. I swear to God, this is what my art used to look like when I was younger. But you can build off of this and make it really nice if you just added some cell shading. This is another one of Boo's, and this is their art style now. And I see their stuff all the time, and I absolutely love your style. I think it's so neat, and I absolutely love the way you shade with like purple and pinks and orange. I absolutely love it. You don't see very many art styles that try to break the norms. Like they say you want to shade with colors that are similar and like in the same family. Like if you're doing a red, you want to either go with like a purple or an orange to, you know, brighten or darken it. But you have completely thrown that out the window and said, you know what, I'm gonna add all of my favorite colors, and I absolutely love that. I think it works perfectly for your art style. Like I love that your art style is very soft but still maintains its sketchiness, and I just think it's a really fun style. And I definitely think you're having fun while you draw these things. Even though all of the things in here says you're trash, lame, loser, I absolutely love it. And it perfectly embodies like a witchy and a internet kind of culture mixed together. And I just can't sing enough praises for this. It's so nice. I really do love it. Every time I see your art, I'm like, wow, wow. Like, I wish I could do stuff like that, but I know if I did that, it would not mesh with my style too well. I could still try though. So the next artist we are going to critique is Milky Boy, and they said be as harsh as you like, which is a little difficult because I actually really like their art style. I think it's so cute. The only thing that I would say is, in both of the examples they gave me, I think they may have had 3 examples. All of the examples they gave me, the characters are really stiff. Like they're all standing in one pose, like back straight and face forward. There isn't very much diversity except for in this one where it looks like she's almost falling. And I really like that because it does show that you have a little bit of movement to your character. I just think it needs to be brought into these ones. I think another thing you could probably do is more shading. Like this one has a little bit of cell shading. I definitely like that, but I also really like the softer no shading other than, you know, the gradients. I really like both of those. So I think the only critique I could give you, because you have such a stylized kind of art style, is you need to work on posing a little bit. Your examples that you have given me were very stiff, and I think you could go past that. You could go further. And that's Milky Boy. Okay, so this next artist is Skull_5, and they said don't judge too hard. I'm going for a cartoony style. Okay, I definitely think you have the cartoon style going on, and it is doing great. I definitely think that I really like the way that you shaded the hair and the hat. I like that you're adding shading. I wish you would do a little bit more cell shading. Like if you add a little bit of shadow to her hair, like right here, you could add a little shadow, like just make it a little bit darker, like a little bit of shadow to the hat, like right here. I definitely think if you did that, it would be, you know, it would add a little bit of dimension to your drawing. Other than that, I definitely think you're on the right track. Keep going, you're doing great. Okay, so the next artist is Blookie, and this is the picture that they gave me. Now, right as I look at it, I think, wow, this is really good. I don't know how I can, you know, help you improve upon this, but the more I kind of look at it, the more I'm kind of getting a feel for how you draw stuff and how you paint stuff. And I have to say, I really, really appreciate realism. I know everybody says, like, oh, they hate realism, blah, 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 like, just draw in your own style. I agree, but I appreciate when you can draw realism. Like, I think it's really impressive because realism is hard. And especially with colors, you want to get everything right. And I definitely think, I can tell you used a reference for this orca, and I definitely think you kind of got lazy when it came to the water. Like, you were really happy with how the orca came out, and then you were like, okay, I'm done. Like, I'll just draw, you know, a few things in the water. But I definitely think you shouldn't have stopped, because the orca is beautiful, but the water does take it away, you know? Takes away from the beauty of the orca. I am a little concerned about the lighting in this. Like, the water is so dark, but the orca is so light. And I'm wondering if you did mash two pictures together because you were drawing the orca, but you decided you were done drawing it. Or if you were just, you know, experimenting with your colors and not color picking. Like, I appreciate those things, but I definitely think you need to peer deeper into your picture to see if there are any blue hues in the bottom of the orca. But I definitely think try and detail the water more. It's the only thing that distracts me. Like, you could put this like as a poster and I would think nothing of it. Like an inspirational quotes poster because it's that good. But as soon as I look at the water, I think, like, I can definitely tell this was somebody drawing it. So I definitely think work on the water, even if you don't want to. Okay, so this is another one of Blookies, and I'm assuming this is your cartoon style versus, you know, your realism style. So the thing about having different styles, like I do this too, I can draw realism fairly decently because it's not hard to take from a picture, but when it comes to creating my own style, I have a lot more difficulties, and taking from real life is much easier than taking from your own brain. So I understand if your style is a bit different. So with this, I definitely see there are a few problems. The torso on your guy is too short. I love the character design, and I think it's very reminiscent of the gorillas and I think some sort of like Scott Pilgrim mixture, and I really like that. I definitely think you need to work on your anatomy just a little bit more. And it kind of looks like you're trying to go in between styles. I think you should try to hone in on that. Like, definitely your character is a love mashup of a few different things. Like, I feel like I can see a little bit of Invader Zim and the gorillas and Scott Pilgrim and I don't even know, Animal Crossing maybe in all of them. Like, try to dial in on that. Like, I feel like it's a little bit of all over the place right now, which is kind of hard because there's not much to this character, but it looks like it's very inspired from different things. And it could be a picture of yourself and you just take from these things as yourself, but I definitely think if you work on your anatomy a little bit more, your piece would pull itself together. Like, I feel like the legs are too long compared to the torso, and the arms are too short compared to the, you know, rest of the body. His body is quite long and his arms look quite short. And I definitely think that's about everything that I can say. The shading I can tell is fairly good. The drawing looks a little bit washed out, but that could just be because of your camera. And the line work is very smooth. It's very nice. I absolutely love cartoony styles. I think it's so cool, and I follow tons of cartoonists on YouTube because I absolutely love their styles and I think they're so neat. But I definitely think if you work on those few things, your style and your art skills will improve greatly. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble and rant about your stuff. Thank you so much for submitting stuff. If you'd like to see your stuff get critiqued, if you'd like me to critique your stuff, please join my Discord, and that's down in the description, the link for that. I hope any of this is helpful. I'm trying to give you useful advice that you can actually like practically use. So if you are a little bit confused about the advice that I gave you or the critique I gave you, please let me know on my Discord or in the comments and I will try to explain a little bit better. And please, please, please leave a like if you liked this, because I have no idea if this is gonna be even good or not. So if you like this, make sure to let me know so I can do more of this in the future. Alright? If you guys like me, then subscribe because I make videos every Friday. And I will see you guys next week. Bye!